Hey buddies, welcome to AmassGames. My name is Simon. Today I'm going to set up play and review for Fleet the Dice game, and I'll also be talking and doing a bit of a run through for the solo playthrough as well. Now, this is the second edition of Fleet the Dice game. As you can see, it is a roll and write game. Some people consider it the most complex one that there is, but I have definitely played more complex. Check out on the channel, of course, the videos for Rome and Roll by David Turtsey, which you can also find through the various playlists, including for him. Check out my various other playlists, such as the AmassGames playlist, the Family playlist, the How to Set Up Play and Review playlist, and the Roll and Write playlist as well. So, this is by Eagle Griffin Games. It's by Benjamin Pinchback and Matthew D. Riddle. Check out again, as I mentioned, in the unboxing teaser trailer preview over video, which you can also find on the playlist for that as well, because this is set in Ridback Bay, and ultimately that's of interest because it's named after the people. If you're watching as a short, head through to watch the full 4K video for comments and chance to win competitions, etc. So, if you've seen Fleet, which you'll find has got a few thousand views already on the channel, you'll know that I've spent most of my life in Fleet, which is why I find this particular game of interest. So there are various pieces. You do not need this unless you're playing it solo, but I will come back to explain that in a moment. We'll move this off to one side, and now we're going to get out some sheets. So there's two types of sheets that you're going to be playing with, and I've already torn off a couple of sheets so we can start playing straight away. So you are going to have to place this one on the left-hand side, and this one on the right-hand side. I'll move this out of the way so it's nice and central. And the aim of the game is to crucially get the most points, and we're going to be trying our luck on the high seas here. Now, there are some modular stuff which I do recommend, so we'll briefly talk about those. Chucking out a long-term objective, in which case trying to get the fewest coins gained by the end of the game, and you're going to get yourself 5 points, so someone is going to get that. And you're also going to chuck out on the silver cards, which is basically as soon as somebody does it. In this case, first to launch a boat of each type. So that's a cod, a shrimp, a lobster, a swordfish, and oyster. So that's going to be visible. Again, you don't have to play with it, so just for ease, I might take those out of shot in a second. And either you can roll a die, and that's basically going to be the starting stuff that you start off with. So you're going to cross off the first 3 boxes. That means you're going to get a license, which we'll come on to, and also a boat. This means you'll start catching boats every even round in this 10-round game, unless you're playing it solo, which is an 8-round game. So instead of doing this, what you can be doing, because other people might end up rolling the same result as you in this 1 to 4 player game, you can instead give them a unique card, which means everyone's going to be different. Not only do you cross off the first 3 items, you'll also get a special bonus over at the wharf. So there's something else you can be doing. There's 5 different abilities, 5 different things you can be starting off with. Obviously in a 4-player game, that gives you a lot of choice, because immediately it's not just 4 things, it's more than that. Of course, one thing might be used. And there's 5 different silver and 5 different gold cards as well. So for now, I'll just move this out of the way. I recommend, like I said, chucking them both in. That might not be in the base game, and technically, as it's an expansion kind of stuff, I'm also going to chuck it in the expansion playlist as well. So, how does this work? Well, we're going to start off with the start player. They're going to take this, and then they're going to roll some dice. So we have boat dice, these colourful ones, and we have town dice. Ignore the town dice. The amount that you're going to need per player is going to be the amount of players plus 1. And when we get into the town phase, the amount of players plus 1. So there's 4 things we do in a round. The first thing is you roll the dice. Again, check out my dice distancing video to see whether or not you need a dice tray, and therefore it'll be using a standard dice tower, which I've always used, to see how far dice roll, like I said. So we're up to, that'll be video 80, by the way, so check out the playlist for dice distancing. So what can I pick of all these things? Well, it's completely up to me. Again, I would have initially crossed off 3 shrimp, let's say. So I cross off 1, 2, 3. So that means I've got myself a license. What does this mean? Well, anytime I ever take a future shrimp die, I can make it any face I like. Okay, I also crossed off a boat, so I'll explain how that works in a moment. So, aim of the game is to, like I said, get the most points. What do you want to do? Well, maybe, again, depending on what comes up, you might want to, again, do more of this, because if you go here again, you get a special ability. The star action means you can basically roll again. So that's really useful, and roll again. It lets you cross off another square or circle or box, basically, at the topmost of any section. So over here, wherever you want it to be. Once you get further down and cross off this license, you get an extra 2 income, an extra 2 coins. And the third one down will give you points at the end of the game, and of course a little bonus as well. Whichever amount of licenses you've crossed off, you always take the bottommost one that you've crossed off, so you're not going to take that bonus and that bonus as well. With COD, the way it's going to work is it allows you to launch a boat. So once you've launched a boat in a future turn, it allows you to get an extra coin. I can tell you why coins are good. And then a future round, obviously get 2 coins and 3, and 6 victory points in that case. This time you get an extra income, so there's 10 income phases, more income and more income, and 7 VP. This allows you to cross off any box whenever you go fishing, which again is 5 times in the game. Also, you get to cross off any box and you get a coin. And again, you get 2 crosses off, again, the topmost box of the section. And then lastly, we have oyster boats. So catching 2 fish instead of 1, obviously every fishing round. And as you go further on, you can actually increase your boat size and start catching more on your boats. But also with these ones, well, the way it works is you can catch 2 fish or 1 and a coin. Let's come back onto coins. So initially, every time you've crossed off a 3rd box, you can ultimately get yourself off a special, crossing off any way you like, which we'll try and show you in a second. And of course, as it goes on, it becomes a bit further off before you get one of those activations. It becomes 4 and then 5. So that's how this works. That is the income phase. Sorry, that was the town phase. Let me double check the phrase. Sorry, that's the boat phase. So we have the income phase, which we'll talk about in a second. Then again, fishing round, which is every even phase, which I'll show you how that works in a second. And finally, the town phase. But for now, I need to cross something off. So for now, I'll cross off lobster. I'll tell you why in a second. Now it's the opponent's turn, and they're going to cross off, let's say, a cod. And it's back to both of us. So we both take what's left remaining. So I'll cross off a license. So that could be good, because now we get onto the income phase. Income phase is you're going to take income. You always take 1, but in this case you get a bonus, so cross off 2. Then what happens is you are now going to go into the town phase. So the town phase is you're going to roll 3 dice. And in this case we've rolled this. Again, I'm going first, so I can pick. So I can pick another lobster. Let's pick that as an example. And in this case, it allows me to get another boat. And now, of course, my opponent might take that, which all it does is it gives him coins equals that fish, but there's no fish to go. And then we both take that. So again, we'll take 2 coins because 0 to 4. So cross that off. That is 1 round done. Okay, so in round 2, all over again, obviously we're going to roll dice. Of course, the other person's going to pick first. But then we do income, and then we do fishing. In this case, I've got 2 boats, so I'll cross off 1 fish in each boat. Okay, and at that point, I'm going to give you the review and then show you how solo playthrough works, and again, take you through a bit of that. So let's talk about the review. So my rating for Fleet is around a 7, which is slightly above average for not only myself, but what other people think of it, because my average rating is 6.37 from 2,300 plus reviews. And in terms of this game, I would give this maybe sort of 7.5 or something like that. Not as high as other people rate it, but I know other people I've played this with who do enjoy it more. I was expecting it to be a bit more complicated, not in a bad way at all. It definitely doesn't need that. You do need to constantly checking when you cross something off. Do I have a fishing special ability? I need to cross that off too. It's a fairly sandboxy thing. Obviously, you want to try and cross off a number of things and try and get to these victory points as well. Lots of things you can focus on. You can get King Crab, which gives you 5 points if you reach the license zone here. And yeah, these are regular boxes. You have special boxes, which are circular ones, these activation boxes, and that you do extra stuff as well. Sometimes you want to catch extra fish. You've also got other abilities such as re-rolling dice, which is quite cool. So some modification going on. Maybe set collections to get 15. Basically, you're taking a die, and instead of using it to cross something off here, you're just crossing off here because get all of these, get 15 points, which I've done as well. Again, the market, every time a market die comes up, you can get an extra 2 coins. But of course, you have to go here twice. So whether it be an activation marker or just crossing it off, cross off 2 of those, and you are going to get yourself 3 victory points at the end of the game as well. So apart from that, what is there to say? Well, these star actions are great. Again, in this case, you have 3 available in the game. Games have been close. You're going to put in your fish at the end. They're worth a point each. Your boats, of course, as some of these boats are worth 2 points. All you need to be doing is literally have crossed off this box and you'll get 2 points. You do not have to have a full boat. But sometimes a full boat is good, because if you happen to have the Ridback Canning Company during the income phase, if you've got a full boat, you'll gain an extra 1 income per full boat. Licenses, so again, if you have any license points, put them on there too. Some of these buildings give you points if you've completed them. And then bonuses, we've talked about briefly here. And of course, some of these cards and trophies will give you bonuses. Lastly, you're going to tot up your score. Again, it's quite nice. You can put your name on there. You can put the date on here as well. So of course, you're going to see when this goes live, when it goes live. But we're going to put the date on here, and let's just put AmassGames because I haven't done that one yet. So again, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and let me know your thoughts. Obviously, comments are best on YouTube. There are occasionally competitions, but they are time sensitive via Linktree, so keep clicking through there. And also via Instagram and Facebook, join the discussion. Of course, follow over 3,000 posts and 3,700 followers, and on Threads as well. And yeah, I mean, I understand that obviously this looks like it's in this zone, but in fact this is actually part of the harbour area. But again, this is quite fun to do, like I said, to get those points. It's of course we'll be laminating it. Everyone seems in the past think I've been getting these things professionally laminated, but I'm guessing I just cut them up well or something like that. You will be covering off most of these things, and I still don't know if there's anything better than something else. I've never noticed that necessarily. Again, lobsters getting you income is great. But let's now briefly talk to you about how the solo player works. So you're playing against Captain Ruth. You're going to place one of these markers initially on the leftmost section over here. And in this case, we're going to kind of go clockwise over here. And this starts off in the king crab zone. So it's played over 8 rounds. The way it's going to work is I'm initially going to roll a die. And remember that last round when I crossed off 3 lobster, or whatever it was, 3 shrimp. So imagine that was my turn. So when I rolled and got that, then they rolled, let's say, a shrimp as well. So they can pick, they wouldn't pick coins. They cross off the 2 bottommost things. We all get 3 coins, okay? But in their case, they can't take it, so they just cross off 1 more thing. And basically, if they hit this first, I cannot get this extra license bonus. What I will be getting is myself an extra, so I'll get 3 coins. So I've crossed off 3 coins. So 1, 2, 3, so that's quite nice. I've also got my special ability. So let's say for now, I cross off, well, what have I already been crossing off? Let's say I crossed off that lobster. So now I know at that point, and we'll just make a line to show where I'm up to. Then we do income. So again, I'm going to be taking 1 income, because you start off with 1 income. And then we're moving into the, obviously, town phase. I'm just going to roll 3 dice. Do I want to take, obviously, king crab stuff or something else? Again, they would want to take it because by default, they take harbor actions. So I take this, they've got to take this one by default. There's nothing else they can take, and then money's worth nothing to them. So I'd again take 3 as well, because the wild only works over here. So that is 1 round done. So we're on to round 2, and now it's their turn to roll. I mean, if I've ever goofed or anything like that, just let me know, but of course it's their turn to roll. You can put in here how many boats you're up to. So I've got 1 boat currently. My income is presently 1. Obviously we're not fishing, and I've got nothing in the way of towns. It'd be nice to have the total value of fish here, because sometimes that's useful for other things. So they've rolled this. Now this all moves along 1 as well. So they go here, they go to Captain's Club, Amass Bank. They're going to take what they can. So in this case, the nearest thing to clockwise would be oyster. So we cross off 2, so I can't get that one. And they always mark off 2, as you can see. I'll take the shrimp, because again I get this bonus. So I have 1, and basically anything I like. Well, let's take that extra license for lobster, because then I get 2 income, which is here. I have an activation phase. I will take a boat, so I crossed off that boat. And then also, because we're now in income phase, I have 2 cash, which I don't think I've crossed off yet. 1, 2, and then we do fishing. So now I cross off 1 here, and I cross off 1 here, and actually I'm back up to where I was initially before. So that's that taken. We all take this bonus. So it is now cod. So we cross off just 1. I take 3. 1, 2, 3. I've got another activation. Don't want to do shrimp or lobster. Let's head to the king crab. So now, have we done income yet? No, we haven't. So now I take income. So I take 1, 2, 1 here. Plus you always start off with 1. And in this instance, then what I'll be doing is considering going out somewhere else. So I've now got income. We've just fished actually, so maybe I had just taken it. And now we're moving into the town phase. So they go first. Again, they're doing Captain's Club, so I don't get these 2 bottom actions. Again, I could take this to be anything I like, but I think I'm doing the same. I'll go for King Crab and try and get some points down here. And then they're going to cross off this one down here, so they take off that. It's the next one along. So they'd take off that one. And then I would cross off 1 myself. Actually, it could be anything I like. And I might choose to alternate. I like going for oysters. Okay, end of round 2. So then you can show that you've kind of ticked all off. I hope you're not missing anything here. And then let's do a quick beginning of round 3. Again, my round to go first. I can pick stuff. I don't want coins. If something's completely full up, they have to pass. If not, they can actually fill over the next zone, in this case over here. So if they completed the rid back and it was on rid back and it's their turn again, then they can head across over here. So I'm not sure. Let's go for license. So now I've got a license. So that lets me catch more stuff. So I'll take that one. Let's then, they'll of course would have to take this. And then I've got 3 coins. 1, 2, 3. I'll get a boat. And again, I don't have any activations from boats. Let's do income. So I have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I've got another activation. Let's get another king crab. Again, it's more of an end game kind of thing, but sometimes you, especially in a multiplayer game, you want to focus on these first. especially because I think the licensed ones are definitely the best. I have maxed out before, you won't get any extra coins, so that's interesting to try out. And then it's the, let's see what else is left to do. I don't think we've done the town phase for round 3. So do I want to take a cod or do I want to get some money? I think I'll take cod at this point. Let's also stop them. Market, so they'll take that, which doesn't do anything. Well, yeah, doesn't do anything. And then for me, I'll take 2. So I think it works. I did play through this earlier. So ultimately, that's how you're going to keep playing the game. And you have a score. I was a deck hand before, 58 points. Although I was one off getting a fisherman's pub, which have made me a mate. That is a quick run through of the solo play. Less familiar with the solo play rules. So any questions, like I said, I can respond. Like I said, comments are best on YouTube. Any updates as well. Please, of course, look forward to speaking to you again on the next video. Daily videos for, of course, the last few years. But for now, just time to say, back to the table.